Is Sunday, July 14th, 2019. And this is the Pro and Con Show, and I am your host, Michael James Ott. Welcome to the show. So the show is just a brief introduction every day, 15 to 20 minutes. I'm dedicating to encouraging all of us to work together better, okay, to be open to each other, to open our hearts and our minds to the fact that we are different. And I was saying yesterday that we're probably, maybe between any two of us, only about 80% overlap as far as how we perceive things. And then there's another 20% where we don't share that overlap. And so we're going to automatically be perceiving things in a different way. It doesn't make it that one is right and one is wrong, or one is bad or one is good. It just means that that's kind of like the human condition. And we should be open to understanding that, understanding each other, and let's do a better job going forward, talking through these issues. Because the one thing is absolutely true is that they're all more complex. Whether it's immigration or abortion or taxes or whatever, it's all much more complex than fits in a few words on a bumper sticker. And the other part of it is that we're doing ourselves a huge disservice by not stepping back and looking at these issues in a broader light. Now, I wanted to, going back to just this idea of working together and sharing better. I'm reading. This is actually nonfiction, and it's written by a fellow named Michael Perry. Okay. And the book is called Population 485, Meeting Your Neighbors One Siren at a Time. And my wife, my lovely wife, librarian and author herself, she got me this book, and it's signed by the author. She got it signed. Because I grew up in a town with, I think it was around 400 or 450 or 500 at the time. I think they have almost 600 people. It's grown a lot in 60 years. But so it's so the small town I grew up in, little Grand Ridge, Illinois, in north central Illinois, and so I wanted just to read one particular paragraph in here because it struck me as really applicable to this whole idea of us working together better and stuff like that. So the background is that this fellow, Michael Perry, he's an author, but he also was, or maybe still is, a EMT and fireman. And it was all volunteer kind of stuff. And so the book is about several of his adventures. And this one, just before this paragraph that I'm about to read to you, they have gone to a elementary school, and they're having a fire awareness presentation, and it's quite extravagant, actually. And so they're doing the standard discussions about fire and what to do if there's a fire in your home, and stop, drop, and roll, and all these kinds of things. And so he's the importance of even young kids knowing their phone number and their address, so that if they ever get lost, they can their parents or families can be found quickly, and all these kinds of things. So anyway, so he's talking about the kids and what they've seen, and he's told a previous story, and then he says, we wind up needing to know a lot in this life: our phone number, where we live, left from right, how to toast, how to make toast, how to tell the boys' bathroom from the girls' bathroom. It's daunting to look at these children and recognize how much they already know, even the dullest among them. We humans start slow, but we pick up speed fast. Your chimpanzees and elephants and dolphins and other members of the animal kingdom intelligentsia probably don't get the respect they deserve, and that's true. If you watch some of these, like the Blue Planet thing, it's amazing just how intelligent these animals are. We just never saw it. But anyway, back to the story. Even the greatest, brightest lowland gorilla will be hard-pressed to match wits with us, Homo sapiens. Even if the Homo sapiens in question is a mouth breather crushing Schlitz cans against his forehead at a demolition derby. The faces in the band room, they have the kids in the band room at school, this morning are open and bright. The eyes are a row of shiny buttons, unclouded by the opacities of irony. Attentive, joyful groups of children like this often provoke adults to say goofy things, like, "The children are our future." Of course, the statement completely ignores the fact that everyone who has not stopped absorbing oxygen is our future. Children are fascinating and surprising, and at their best, heavenly sprites. But before you go too deeply into this idea that the world would be a better place if we are all more like children, try sticking 3 kids in one room with 2 toys. You'll witness conflict resolution techniques synthesizing the very worst of Marquis de Sade and the World Wrestling Federation. The world is like it is because, on the whole, we tend to act like children. Okay, so that's a great paragraph. And the negative aspect of acting like children that he's pointing out is we can be very selfish. We can be very limited in our reasoning and our willingness to listen to others. We can be very myopic about what we think is appropriate, and our worldview, because we haven't either had the time or taken the time up to this point to learn things in a more in-depth way. Well, that will cause us to make bad decisions, and that's one of the things why parenting is parenting, and children are children, and children have adult parents. And why this is, and why it's necessary, is because children don't do what they should do. And the adults are there to, be forward-looking, okay? Brush your teeth, because if you don't brush your teeth will eventually decay and they'll fall out of your head. And when you're 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 years old, you still want your teeth. They're unbelievably handy in trying to eat. And that's just one example. The examples go on and on and on. So the point being, one of the things that we do, even us adults in the United States of America, this glorious country that we live in, is unfortunately, in that perspective, we behave like children. We need to be out there looking for more information. We need to be embracing more information and those opposing views. And I've said it many times before, and I'll just quickly run through this one more time. So you've got a coin here. I'll show that on both. I'm doing Facebook Live and recording this for YouTube at the same time. So this is a $1 coin, and it's got this image or representation of George Washington on one side. Okay? And wherever you are, whatever you've been doing, wherever you were born, right up to this very moment in time when you're watching this video, those things have caused you to look at this coin and see this image or representation of George Washington. Okay? And I, based on my genetic makeup and siblings and experiences and everything up to this moment in time, have come, and I look at the same coin and I see an image of the Statue of Liberty. Well, those of you, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, Mr. Ott, you want to go ahead and call the padded wagon there because that is Mr. Washington. And I say, no, I see the Statue of Liberty. And you say, Washington, I see liberty. And, the truth is that pretty soon we can, be calling each other all kinds of disparaging remarks. And we can get quite angry and violent over it. We can stand on opposite sides of the street and throw rocks at each other and have placards, and you with Washington and me with liberty. But the reality is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, is that coin is two-sided. Okay? And it's only when you take the time to look at the other side of the coin that you understand the full truth of it. Okay? It's only when you take the time to understand, to look at the other side, that you truly understand the full truth of it. All right. Well, just actually going to stop earlier than 15 minutes today. The Pro and Con Show. I'm your host, Michael James Ott. I hope you enjoyed and this is causing you to think a little bit. Think a little bit about how to be a better citizen, about how to be a better friend and family member. And the way you're going to do that is by taking time to understand opposing points of view. Okay? So until the next show, I bid you adieu. And I always say bye for now.